This is Building Lifestyles, a show designed to help everyday Australians create a lifestyle that inspires them using property development strategies. On the show, you'll hear from everyday people changing their lives doing property development. You'll learn from their successes as well as some of the challenges they've faced along the way. We also talk to experts from a range of fields who share specialised techniques that you can use to accelerate your property journey. I'm your host, Amanda McEwen, and I'm the founder of the Rising Star Developer. And I'm really passionate about helping everyday Australians build lifestyle using property development. Welcome to Building Lifestyles. Today's podcast, we have one of my students who I'm very excited to introduce you to. So I've got Mark Joy joining us. Hey, Mark.
Good morning, Amanda. Thanks for having me.
My pleasure. So Mark joined the Rising Star Inner Circle in June last year, and it's been great to watch and share your progress, and you've certainly given a lot to the community as well. But one thing I'd like to start on is when I start my teachings as part of my program, we begin with talking about our why. And I think this is a concept that really connected with you because you were doing this beforehand. So I'd love for you to share with the listeners, because one thing you mentioned which really connected with me is you wrote in one of the posts to the community, you said, your why rolls into the what and the how. So let's start with, why did you explore property development in the first place?
Sure. So as an intro, I'm 50. My 3 kids have finished private school, which is a huge relief. And now I see it's the next phase chapter of my life. So I'm a CFO through the day, so I still work hard. And I just felt that this was an opportunity for me to build some significant income on top of what I earn, to give me opportunity for exploring the adventures and the bucket list that I have and wanting to do for the next however long I'm here.
Amazing. And I know one thing you shared with me and also the Inner Circle community was your sugar wheel.
Yep.
So would you like to share what that means and how that's really helped you?
Sure. So the Sugar Wheel, so Sugar's my nickname. For those in Melbourne, the Sugar Shack was my club back in the day. That's how it stuck, and playing footy, you get a nickname. So the Sugar Wheel, if you think of a pizza cut into 8, and each slice of the pizza represents a part of my life. So there's a physical part, there's a mental well-being, there's my wife, kids, family, work, etc. And the concept of the wheel means if each of those parts of your life are in order, you're going to flow better. And so if you think of riding a bike and one part of your wheel has a puncture, well, you're not going to spin. And so it's that whole, if all the wheel is spinning, you tend to ride quicker and faster and can experience and see more. And so I have a real passion. There's no point me having an amazing work career if I don't see my kids or if I'm slobbing on the couch and my health is not good. So I take real pride in each month making sure little checkpoints that my wheel is in balance, and enables me to flow through life.
Yeah, and that's so important. And that's why when I start teaching property development, we actually start with people really understanding the why, and I introduce the concept of the wheel of life, because you're so right. It's no use having all the success and wealth through property if your relationships and your health is jeopardized. So, and it's so true that when you have all those things in balance, you do get that flow. And I remember when I started my property journey, I had an educator that started the same way. And I remember at the time being really frustrated, thinking, I just want to get in and understand property. I just want to get in there and know the nuts and bolts. And it wasn't until later that I realized that it probably is one of the most important steps when you start your journey to get that part down pat, so that when you start learning the technical side of property, it does flow because you've got the bigger picture of your life in focus when you're making those decisions and when you're going down that journey.
That's exactly right. And then that flows on to answer your question, the why. The why is so critical. And it's like anything. So if you have a why, it helps you through the tough times. So it can be anything, it could be to lose 20 kilo. It could be to find a new job. Whatever pursuit you have, there's going to be tough times. there's going to be tough times. So back on the fitness, when that alarm rings at 5 a.m. and it's 3 degrees, it's tough. And so the why for me helps my mental capacity to get over it. So just very briefly, my three main whys. The first is to have a lifestyle. So I still have a dream of building that family home for us. Then the next element comes to helping my kids. My kids are 23, 21, 19. So they're venturing into a new world. They're going to need me to help them financially. So if I can help them through property, hopefully there's 3 weddings. So it just enables, so it's actually giving back to them in some capacity. And then the third why, which is a little bit emotional, is I'm starting a foundation later this year. And I hope to give back to the world because I am blessed. So I'm happy to say that I've worked hard. I'm blessed. I'm healthy. Life's good. And I think the world needs people like me to give. We can't just rely on the Michael Jordans of the world and all those, you see all the millions they have. Well, you know what? I believe that I can make an impact, and if I can impact my community, then I will do. And so I'm very passionate in building that and giving back in the domestic violence space is what I'm doing. So that's how I'm going to give back to the world. So they're the 3 whys: my wife and family, my 3 kids, and then the world.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I think you raise a really good point there as well, Mark, in that some people have this perception around money that if you make a lot of money, you're greedy and you're selfish. And I guess there's so many negative connotations that are associated around the word money. But there's also a lot of positivity around that, because money really does enable people, and it enables people, when it's in the right hands, to be able to really be of service. Whether that's to help people financially or through various causes, or just to help your community around you. When you have that excess of financial capacity, it enables you to be able to give a lot more. So if everyone gets their own financial needs sorted out, and that doesn't necessarily mean big houses, fast cars, all that sort of stuff. Everyone's inclined and have different things that are important to them. But I certainly know from myself, my own experience, having been able to sort out my own financial situation through property has enabled me to then have the confidence and the capacity to even be able to serve all my students in the community in terms of educating people around property, and to be able to help other people sort out their finances so then they can also pay it forward. And I also get involved in other charity and other foundations as well in the background. But by helping other people sort out their own finances and get their own version of financial independence, I think that's also paying it forward to be able to help other people in their families and their communities as well.
That's right. I mean, the wealth gives you opportunity. And so I want to make it very clear, I'm no Robin Hood, right? Like, I still want to have a good life, and I still want to travel, and I still want to experience, but it by no means will my wealth be all about me. And so, I just think it's a responsibility, and just the way I am, is to give back, because even in our own country, Australia, there is so much need. There is so much need. So it's that opportunity is what I say. And that's why that why is split into the 3 components.
Yeah, that's amazing. I love that you shared that with us. So thank you. So let's start moving into, I guess you've made the journey. You mentioned earlier that you're originally a property investor. You'd been doing property investing for the last 10 years.
Correct.
So what was it that actually made you consider property development and evolve from the traditional property investor to become a property developer?
So I went to a seminar in June last year and spoke to an amazing woman in North Melbourne who really opened up my eyes to a whole new world. And I guess I'm at the age now where I've got a bit of time capacity. I'm not watching sport 3 times a week. And I thought, what I was really touched by, it was when I've invested in property, I've done very well from it, but it's a long burn. So it can take, 10 years to make money. Whereas with the property development, it's a way of getting in and out quickly and then going on to the next one. So I like I suppose, the quicker element of it.
Yeah.
And rather than waiting. And it was funny because I've been with the one developer for that 10 years. So he's, I've built I think 8 properties over that journey, and now I'm becoming him, if you like. And so, so it's just a bit of an evolution, but I do think it's that, not that I'm greedy, but there is a capacity to earn money quicker rather than the slow burn. And it's also exciting. Like, it was never a bucket list thing, but I'm still, you know, as I'm 50, but I still want to learn and grow and see what the world has. And eyes wide open, I went into it, and if it didn't resonate, well, that's okay. I can say, look, thank you, and walk away. But to be fair, since that meeting and the people that I've met, the journey, if anything, my enthusiasm for it grows daily.
Yeah, it's amazing, isn't it? It's so addictive, this whole property journey. And I think what I also love about property, having been doing it for so many years now, every single project is different. There's always things to learn. I think if you ever get to the situation where you think you know it all, then you're not going to grow.
That's right.
And I still have challenges that I work through with every single project. And no matter how much experience you have, there's always something new to learn and personal growth to happen from that. So I think that's also amazing. And also, we also forget as we're doing property development, right? And even outside of the returns, and yes, the returns are great and they're a lot faster than traditional property investment, but we're also creating homes, right? We're creating much needed homes for the Australian community. And we have a huge shortage of homes in Australia right now. And the rental market, as we know in the current climate, is really strained and stressed. And we need more housing. So yes, as developers, we get a return for our time and our effort and the risk that we take on, but we're also creating homes. And I think that's an amazing thing.
That's right. And it's not for everyone. And so, you know, we'll come into that later, I'm sure. But it's just another opportunity of something. And if I didn't like it, well, I can pull out. You know, I'm not committed to it. You know, there's no noose around my head. So, and it's resonated with me. So, yeah, it's on and on we go.
That's great. And you're currently working full time as well, and developing on the side.
That's
From
right.
the time commitment, how have you found the time getting involved in projects?
Yeah, so certainly, because of the age of my kids, that's helped. I don't know how well it would have gone, say, 8 years ago when I had 3 kids in high school, playing 2 sports every week, working full time. I don't think I would have had the energy to do what I'm doing now.
Yeah.
And so it does fluctuate, but I do find that I have to do stuff every week, and there's always things going on. And certainly my first build is in a few months. And so once that starts, I'm sure the time will increase. I'm grateful, thankful, blessed, call it what you like, but my energy level's high. And so I've always got that capacity to, you know, find that hour, 1 hour, 2 hours, even a Wednesday night, you know, if it was to meet a builder, well, I've got that. And so it comes back to the why, because there's some days, sometimes you don't want to do it, right? And that's life.
Yep.
And when you keep going back to why you're doing it, where you're going, where you're headed, have the plan, are you there? It flows for me. And I think that's, whether it's blessed or it's well self-developed, but my character tends to hang in when it's tough.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that was another one of the reasons why we started my education around knowing your why, because you do have challenges. If it was easy, look, everyone would be doing property development.
That's right.
And you know, you will hit roadblocks, and nothing happens as fast as you want it to, whether that's finding your deal or getting your approvals or finding your money partners or even constructing. Everything always takes longer than you like.
That's
and there's always challenges to work through. And when you are clear on your why, it does keep you showing up.
Yep, that's right. And it's also, yes, I'm working full time and I do work long hours, but it's a bit of a buffer. Like if things go wrong and it takes an extra, well, it doesn't actually matter. Like I'm not relying on getting that deal done to look after my family. So it's a bit of a win-win.
Yeah, definitely. And then that's why, you know, I certainly always, there's one thing that I say to any of my students in the community who want to explore property development: make sure you don't quit your day job until you bank 2 times your income,
That's right.
because you need to be able to feed your family, keep a roof over your head,
That's right.
and also know that you're comfortable and you actually enjoy this whole property development journey. And once you've got that money in your bank account, then it gives you that flexibility to make a choice if you want to say goodbye to your boss or take this on
That's
as a
right.
full-time venture.
Exactly.
Absolutely. So let's go and have a chat about your deal, because you've recently got into a deal. So just share with us how that journey's been and how it came about.
Yeah, sure. So, I've loved the journey, just for clarity. And what I've really done with this is I'm learning, and so I've probably met through the community and through my own networking, maybe 50 people, and so just learning. So I'm really on a learning tour, if you like. And so I decided in September last year to start small. And so what that means is I met a guy in the property industry, if you like, and we had a chat, we had a talk, and then I found a block, and then he introduced me to a few builders. I found a builder, etc. So I built my A team, and that was really, really important. I had a conveyancer already lined up, and so I've built my A team. And so what I'm doing is I'm starting small, so it's a 1-to-1, but that's okay, because I'd rather learn and earn a small amount than not learn and lose, if you like. So so it's out in the southeast. Part of the journey was to find an architect. So I've met an architect, and the funny thing is, once I've found these people and you build a trust, there's almost like they need me as much as I need them. And that's something I've learned. Like, I always felt, I'm looking for people. And the architect was funny. He said, if it's not for people like you, I wouldn't have a job. And the builder's a little bit different because they've got so much work. But what he said to me, he wants to know that he can trust. So there's plenty of people that want work. And one thing that he actually blew him away. I put a deposit down on him to start at a date. And so that frees his calendar up, so he knows he's got to build. I paid the deposit, $2,500. Within 24 hours, it was in his bank account, and he knew that I was serious. And so it's that relationships, building the A team. And now this team I've still got a few little things, not imperative. My hope is once we get through one, it'll just roll on, and all the signs are there so far. So it's about learning the process, and then I'll go into 1-to-2, 1-to-3. Like that's in my 10-year plan. So I've already done that, but it's slowly as a start. Get the first one done, get some money in the bank, and then even speaking to the bank, they've told me once you do 1 or 2, their willingness to give me more will open up.
Yeah, absolutely. And it doesn't matter. I think it's very important that you need to take ego away. It doesn't matter if it's a 1-to-1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, does not matter. As long as it's going to be profitable, you're managing risk, and you can get in and out of that deal. It doesn't matter what the size is. So that's a really important thing.
That's right. So it's a 5-month in and out is the and I've already got the real estate ready to sell it. So that's already lined up. So it's all well in advance, and it's really just not sitting back and just watching it flow, but I've got month by month, we know where things are at, and but stuff will happen, right? So I get it, but there's contingency. And the other one is, if it doesn't sell, like if interest rates do the unspeakable and people can't get money, well, I'll just rent it out. So I've got a plan for that. So it's all so far, there's been some pain, but we're still on course.
Yeah, and I think it's great that you build your A team, and you're right. Once you have your A team, it means that you can transact a lot faster. Once you get your first deal going, you've built that relationship, you built that trust, and that is such a key part of building any business, really, and no different in property. Having relationships that are win-win, build on trust, and you actually both can work together as a team, because there are bumps that go along the way. But when you have a strong relationship, you know that you can tap into those relationships to really help you navigate through those challenges as quickly as possible. I think another thing that also goes, unrecognized as developers is that we end up, when we're doing a project, we employ up to 80 to 100 people with every
Yeah.
single project that we do. So that's a lot of jobs, right? And there's a lot of cost that's involved, and we're paying a lot of people to do our projects. And that's what's amazing about the whole development angle, because you're paying banks, designers, conveyancers, sales agents, trades, your builder. A lot of people are touched by every single project as well.
That's
so it also brings in the importance of providing housing, but we're also providing a lot of jobs.
Yep.
And that's something that I guess gets lost a bit in the work that we do.
Oh, 100%. That's exactly right.
That's awesome. So let's so your current opportunity. So when are you looking to get out of? So you're about to start construction, is that right?
Yeah, start construction in June, and I'm just working with the bank. And it's funny, even on the community, I actually spoke to someone from the community this morning, so we had an hour chat in maybe joining up to fast track the next. I've got the next opportunity is there.
Mm-hmm.
I've just got to get the funds available, so that might fast track, and that's a 1 to 2 that's ready to go. And part of being so ambitious, I've just got to temper reality with expectations and so forth. I mean, if this money provider takes off, we'll launch that probably September. Like, that's ready to go. So, and then have 2 or 3 rolling. And it's a bit like most things. Once I've learned and I've gone end to end, if you like, with one, I think the momentum will build up, and long term, like, I'll work out when I give my full-time work away. I've got no vision of that for at least 5 years, but we'll see. You never know what's coming. And that should roll with my A team. Every one of my A team has said to me, if it goes well, let's keep rolling it out, because I would rather work with people I can trust. And it's funny, even as you were talking, 4 months ago, everyone on my A team was a stranger, would never have known them. But, I've invested in coffee, and yes, invested in a couple of beer shouts and stuff. You build a rapport, but they were strangers 4 months ago. And so I don't want to paint the picture that that's my A grade. We're going to work through one, and we'll know it then, sort of, eyeball each other, go, yeah, let's go again. That's the plan.
And you will find that as time goes on, your A team does evolve. So not necessarily completely, but there's always minor tweaks that you make. Some stay for the whole journey, and others can change. But I think the most important thing, that's okay. That's right. And I think if you're going along this whole journey, from what you've learned about managing risk and building relationships that are win-win. I think they're all key fundamentals that will help you navigate through all that anyway.
That's right. Exactly.
So out of everything that you've learnt since you joined, what would you say are probably the 2 or 3 main things that have really helped you get to where you are right now?
I think it's a willingness to learn. And there is so much, and willingness to learn is outside of just your modules, right? That's just the start, if you like. A willingness to get off your ass and do, like, this is not going to, no one's going to come and tap me on the shoulder and say, hey, Mark, I've got a block. Hey, Mark, I've got a builder. So it's all very well to get caught up with presentations and webinars, but at the end of the day, it rests with me.
Yeah.
And the other thing, and this is a bit of a life principle, but I found it really prominent with this, and that's enjoy the journey. So often we're caught up with the destination. And I think if you don't enjoy the journey, you're not going to enjoy the experience, and I don't think the outcome will be as great. And so that's something I really, it's not just that. It's a bit like Christmas Day, right? Don't just enjoy the journey. Enjoy catching up with friends. Enjoy the drinks, the beers, the whole journey. Christmas is not just about the 25th. Enjoy the whole journey. And so that, for me, it's not about just selling the property and making 100 grand. It's actually enjoying the journey and meeting people, meeting builders, watching it, the excitement of designing a home, the excitement of watching it build. My entity name's Diamond Joy. So just that in itself, like the day that I actually put my plaque on that building with Diamond Joy, the logo, there's a bit of ego about it, but it's the journey. And so that's something I would promote, if you like, that as something of one of the three things that's been great.
Yeah, that's amazing. And yeah, true credit to you as well, because they're certainly enjoying the journey is a really, really important part, isn't it? And that gives you the confidence and the desire to keep on going to the next project and rinsing, repeating, and moving on. So they're absolutely great. Three good points: willingness to learn, taking action, and enjoying the journey are three key things that are very in line with my philosophies too. So,
but you got to live it. Like, it's all very well for you to teach it,
yeah.
But as a student, it's on me. But I've got to do it.
Yeah,
I've got to do it. You can say it every day. You can send a text every day. You can, do what you do so wonderfully well. But ultimately, it's on me.
Absolutely, yeah. Education is only one thing. You do need to take action, and that's where the results happen. Taking action and also being consistent. That's really key. So what advice, last question here. So what advice would you give to somebody who is thinking about doing property development, but they're a bit nervous or not sure? What advice would you give to them?
Certainly start small. Like, don't get caught up in the $3 million deals, and don't get caught up by the dollar signs. Start small. Invest in learning from others on the journey. And I've been doing that. Like, I would encourage people that are starting, talk to people that are in their first, second year on the journey, because they were where you were 1 or 2 years ago. I don't think it's as helpful to speak to someone that started 15 years ago, to speak to someone that have just recently been on the journey, and really invest in that. Don't say you will, do what you say. They'd be the main things, and the planning. You can never plan too much. And it's funny, even as you're talking, Amanda, a lot of the principles with this is what I think is life. Like, you can never plan enough, whether it's Christmas lunch, whether it's a wedding, you can never plan enough. Now, it doesn't mean it'll all go to plan, but do your investing in planning before you start, before you. So I'm a little bit over the top on that. Like, I've done a high-level 10-year plan. So obviously each project will have a plan, but I've got a vision of where I want to be. And if it goes off plan, that's okay. Because if you plan for nothing, you will hit it every time.
So true. It's like a rudderless ship, isn't it? And I'm a big planner as well. And I even look back to my plans when I originally started this whole property journey. At the time, I thought, my God, those such lofty goals. They're huge. But we always tend to overestimate what we can achieve in the short term, but completely underestimate what we can achieve in the longer term.
100%. Oh, I couldn't agree more. And the other thing I would advise, use this community, right? There is a lot of wonderful people, far smarter, better than me. So use the community. And don't be afraid if it doesn't work, just to say, listen, not working, that's okay, right? Because it's a bit like when trying to find a life partner. You might have to go on 10 dates before you find it. That's okay. There's nothing wrong with that. So utilize the community of like-minded people is what I would really encourage. That'd be the main things.
Yeah, absolutely. And you're amazing at the way you tap into that community. And I think what I love about the Rising Star community, especially in the inner circle, is people are taking, but they're also giving. And I think that creates an incredible environment, a safe space for people to be able to ask the questions that they need to be able to help them get over the next hurdle and keep moving forward. So certainly the Inner Circle Rising community is something that I'm really, really proud of, and it's certainly made all that more special by people like you. So thank you for what you do. Thank you for being so generous with what you contribute on a day-to-day basis. It's been an absolute pleasure watching your progression and your progress as you've navigated from never having done property development to now getting into your first deal and with your visions for beyond. So I'm really excited about watching how that all unfolds. And thanks so much for sharing your time and your wisdom with the listeners today. So
all the best. Thank you, Amanda, for the journey. And look forward to continuing this exciting journey, and indeed helping anyone that needs to. So reach out if I can help. Thank
absolutely.
you.
Thanks so much, Mark.
Thanks, Amanda.
Bye for now. Thank you so much for listening. This is Building Lifestyles, a show designed to help everyday Australians create a lifestyle that inspires them using property development strategies. This podcast was produced by the Rising Star Developer. We've been helping Australians realise their financial and lifestyle goals since 2020. We play a pivotal role in educating, supporting and celebrating the goals and successes of our students and our community. To find out how we can help you realise your property, wealth and lifestyle goals, head to our website www.risingstardeveloper.com.au. To make sure you don't miss an episode of Building Lifestyles, be sure to subscribe to and follow the show in your favourite podcast app. And while you're there, leave us a 5-star review as it really helps others find the show. I'm Amanda McEwen and we'll be back next episode with more tips on how you can build your lifestyle.